A very good afternoon and welcome. This is Lunchtime News on TV1. Today is the 6th of April 2021. Here are our headlines for this afternoon.
Indian national who was arrested over vandalizing Buddha statues dies in prison. Schools in Badulla closed as a result of a protest by teachers and principals. American Institute commences investigation regarding Mrs. World incident. Preschool students to be given free biscuits.
On to those stories in detail. An Indian national who was remanded on suspicion of vandalizing several Buddha statues in Kuliapitiya died upon admission to the Variapala hospital after a sudden illness.
Prisons Commissioner General Tushara Upuldaniya stated that he had fallen ill last night while being detained at the Variapala prison. The Prisons Commissioner General further added that while steps were taken to hospitalize the suspect, he had died. The deceased has been identified as 37-year-old Dilip Kumar from India. His body has been placed at the Variapal Hospital morgue in accordance with security protocol.
News from neighbouring India. The 16th Legislative Assembly election of Tamil Nadu is scheduled to be held today to elect members of the Legislative Assembly from 234 constituencies in the Indian state of Tamil Nadu.
Voting for 234 assembly seats in Tamil Nadu, 30 assembly seats in Pondicherry is currently underway. The Election Commission has said that it would be conducting the polls with due COVID-19 health protocols, such as checking the temperature of voters. Tamil Nadu's partisan politics have been dominated by its two leading parties, Dravida Munnetra Kalaham and All India Anna Dravida Munnetra Kalaham, for the last 50 years. Each recognized party in India is given a polling symbol by the Election Commission of India, an independent and neutral body of officers that conducts and regulates all the elections in the country.
In more news from home, academic activities of schools in the Uva province were disrupted today following a teacher-principal trade union action.
The trade union action commenced this morning due to a disproportionate salary anomaly. All teachers and principals of the schools in the Uva province took part in the joint trade union action by applying sick leave. According to our correspondent, the attendance at schools were low. Amidst the ongoing trade union action, teachers and principals engaged in a protest at 11 a.m. in Badulla.
In news from Parliament, the Minister of Plantations, Dr. Ramesh Pathiran, assured in Parliament earlier today to grant the 1,000 rupee wage to plantation workers from the month of April.
It is said that the 1,000 rupee salary is not being given to government estates like Walkadua and JEB. The court has fairly made the legal provisions and given the approval for us to carry out that matter. So the 1,000 rupee salary will be given to the labourers of the country for the first time in April.
Minister Samal Rajapaksa said in Parliament today that there is a plan afoot to remove 10,000 houses across the island.
National Research Building Organizations identified close to 10,000 houses in several districts in risk and has recommended them to be removed. Land must be acquired for this. Lands will have to be taken from estates in Ratnapura, from your areas. There are obstacles, but it is happening. Those who get evicted must be given land, and a concession must be given to build a house. We are conducting studies. We selected some lands as well.
Meanwhile, State Minister Piyal Nishanta revealed in Parliament today preschool students will be given nutritious biscuits.
අපි බලාපොරොත්තු වෙනවා පෙරපාසල් දරු
Steps are being taken by the Three Posha Corporation to provide preschool students with nutritious biscuits similar to what we were given when we were kids. Plans are in place to commence that project, and to that effect 1.5 billion has been allocated by the government to construct silos for that purpose.
සකස් කරලා තිනවා ඒ වෙනුවෙන් සයිලෝ පද්ධතියක් නිර්මාණය කරන්නට.
The infamous Diga Dantu tusker, who was believed dead following a brawl with another tusker 2 years ago, has been rediscovered from Kalaweva.
The tusker, which was missing for over 2 years from Kalaweva, was seen recently sighted by residents roaming the Galagodawala area within the Kalaweva reserve. In August 2019, the corpse of a deceased tusker was found in Siambalagaspetia, Kalaweva, and was later confirmed it was Digadantu. A subsequent autopsy revealed that the elephant may have been killed by another elephant, but environmentalists suspect that Digadantu 2 was in fact the elephant that died in 2019. Accordingly, Digadantu 1 is the elephant roaming the Kalaweva area. Both Digadantu 1 and Digadantu 2 are well renowned for their large tusks.
Speaking at the 50th April Heroes commemoration of the Janata Vimukti Peramuna, General Secretary of the party, Tilvin Silva, expressed the following views.
If the amount of oxygen we have to breathe reduces, we will have to purchase that too. In the future, much like a water bottle we carry in our bags, we will have to carry an oxygen bottle. Why is that? Because people only want profits. Who can feed poison to people for profits? These days, people are talking of toxic coconut. It is a crime against humanity. Who is behind this? Racketeers. Politicians are behind this. The capitalist government. The people are not behind the government. The majority of the people are not in the proper senses. Still, the wrongdoing is not called a wrongdoing. When a mistake is pointed out, they say it has happened before as well. Does the previous mistake trump the present mistake? It does not. A mistake is a mistake.
The Turu Kapakaru initiative is being carried out for the 12th day today in Kurunegala and Matale districts. We are now joined by Newsfirst's Ahmed Buzo for an update.
Today marks the 12th consecutive day of the Turu Kapakaru campaign in Bamuna Kotuwa Isipatana Mahavidyalaya in Kurunegala. And as you all can see, we have more than 50 scouts joining us today to plant more than 25,000 trees across the country. And as you all know, this program is powered by Eslon together with MBC MTV Networks, Newsfirst Gammadda and the Sri Lanka Scouts Association. We will not stop here today as the second phase of today's campaign is scheduled at Matale. So stay tuned with Newsfirst. More of the latest for the Newsfirst team. I'm Ahmed Buso reporting to you from Kurunegala.
On to a story that has garnered much attention. The Mrs. World organization said it regretted the actions of reigning Mrs. World Caroline Jury at the recently concluded Mrs. Sri Lanka pageant and added they were reviewing the incident to take steps as deemed appropriate based on the outcome of their assessment.
Issuing a statement, the Mrs. World organization said they were deeply disturbed and sincerely regretted the behavior of their current title holder as her actions were against the Mrs. Sri Lanka Code of Conduct and the predetermined regulations she is obliged to follow during her reign. The organization said the Mrs. Sri Lanka World Director Chandimal Jayasinghe will request Caroline Jury to issue a personal statement apologizing for her conduct. Mrs. World organization reiterated that delegates sent by Mrs. Sri Lanka World to compete in the international pageant must be married. The statement added that if the delegate sent by Mrs. Sri Lanka World to compete in the international competition is legally married, she will be accepted.
Cabinet approval has been granted to purchase 6 million doses of Russia's Sputnik vaccine.
It has been decided to purchase 6 million doses of Sputnik V to prevent the spread of COVID-19. For this, the government has allocated $69.65 million. The 7 million and the 6 million adds up to a total of 13 million. So it can be used for 6.5 million.
The government has decided to import dried coconuts to Sri Lanka for a period of 3 months. The Minister of Plantation Industries says the dried coconuts will be imported purely for the production of coconut oil. Accordingly, 13,500 metric tons per month will be imported for 3 months only. The ministry said such steps were taken considering the risk of local coconut oil companies closing and the collapse of exports. The ministry points out that the industry has been paralyzed due to the lack of a sufficient coconut harvest for coconut oil production. The annual requirement of coconut oil in the country is between 150,000 and 160,000 metric tons. Of this, 90,000 metric tons are used for food production. The Ministry of Plantations further pointed out that Sri Lanka only produces 50,000 metric tons of the total requirement. In more local news, members and supporters of the United National Party engaged in a protest this morning.
The protesters organized against environmental destruction in the country. It was held opposite the UN office in Tumulla, Colombo. A group including the deputy leader of the United National Party, Ruwanu Jayawardena, took part in the protest. They handed over an epistle to the UN regarding the environmental destruction taking place in the country.
Policy unge, policy unge, kale unge, kale unge, bale unge, bale unge.
And with that, it's a wrap of lunchtime news on TV1. Take care, stay safe, and have yourself a pleasant day.